I absolutely love this city, and I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that 2020 could quite possibly have been the best year of my entire life. No exaggeration. Let's talk about it. In order for us to even have this conversation, I think it's important for us to revisit some of the decisions that I made at the end of 2019 that absolutely impacted what's going on here in 2020. First and foremost, I got out of the restaurant business, and it wasn't an easy decision to make because we had invested so much in it and we were profitable. But I didn't like the idea that I had to completely upend my life and make decisions based off of what was best for the restaurant versus what it was that I wanted to do on a regular basis. I travel a lot, I go and invest in other businesses, I visit people, I have conversations, I consult a lot. I really get active in what I'm doing in my community, and I participate in other people's lives. And running a restaurant required you to be there 200% of the time in order to ensure its success. So in November 2019, we decided to get out of the restaurant business. But who could have predicted that we would have such great timing, considering that the whole world was going to change in an instant in February and March of 2020. Secondly, I made a decision to completely transform my workspace at my home in Michigan. And you got to remember, this is before it was popular to do so. You know what I'm saying? It was before the pandemic, before everybody was working from home and all of that. And even though I don't traditionally work from home like most people that have a regular job, I wanted to optimize the space for editing, collabing, for everybody that came over and lived there. And it was absolutely awesome. Lastly, I dropped a video on January 1st, 2020 that highlighted the 5 things that you needed to do in order to get yourself together and have a phenomenal 2020. If you did those 5 things, which included getting healthy, letting go of all of the people that didn't play a huge or a positive role in your life, making sure that you have multiple streams of income, getting your digital life together, getting your social media together. If you did all those things, you were absolutely set up for success. The third thing that you want to do is get a second and third and fourth stream of income. The reason why it's important to do this moving into the next decade is, number one, it insulates you against anything that goes on in the economy. If you lose your job or anything like that, it allows you to be able to still be comfortable, still make adjustments, still make moves without necessarily having to worry about income, right? And 2020 started off phenomenal. We were in the Chi for All-Star Weekend. I took the whole family with me. We hung out with Isaiah Thomas at the new Pistons headquarters in downtown Detroit. We even revisited Casino Life, in which that video, the original video, has crossed 1.4 million views, like 6,000 to 7,000 comments. And we revisited that 1 year later and talked about it and talked about the impact of it and how my life has transformed and whether or not I've changed completely according to the things that I said in that specific video. It was a great year. Like, it was starting off awesome. There had been times where I had on the table well over $50,000 in play at one time. That don't mean that I lost $50,000 at that time, but it was in play. And right after that, it seemed like everything started going bad. I remember I was going into the shopping plaza and I was hanging out with my fam, and my homeboy hit me up and was like, "Anton, I heard Kobe died." I couldn't believe that. Like, a guy that was like right in his greatest space as far as transitioning into the best years of his life and really participating in his daughter's life and all of that. And then I heard his daughter died on top of that. I just couldn't believe it. I just absolutely could not believe that Kobe was gone. Even right now, it sounds weird to say that Kobe is no longer with us. And then on top of that, right after that, COVID hit. And it seems like the whole world just stopped in its tracks. It was weird because nobody knew what to do with everything being completely shut down. Like, you had to, at some point, face yourself and live with yourself and slow down and evaluate exactly who you are and where your life was, which meant that you had to get life advice from me in a hot dog suit. It's so unfortunate that 2 weeks, think about that. That means that people are literally living paycheck to paycheck. 2 weeks will completely turn your whole life into a disaster. But it was during this time when everything was locked down that I felt like I made the most meaningful videos that I've made in 2020, including talking about and speaking on preparing myself in 2008 for what was coming in 2020. And if you missed that video, I suggest you go back and watch it. In addition to that, I spoke about the impact of private school and what it taught me compared to my time in public school. I even made a concerted effort to completely get out of my comfort zone and do something I've never done before, which included hiking 8 miles through the woods with people I've never met a day in my life. I would have never found this ever on my own. Just gives me perspective that, again, I live it. I always say life is about experiences and not stuff. And it don't cost no money to do this. Like, all you got to do is just get up and get out and participate. And right after everything opened back up, in some places temporarily, but it did open back up, you guys came with me to buy my iMac. I also took you along with me to purchase my new Rolex, which is my favorite watch. I absolutely love that watch. This is what I picked up today.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
We're in good health.
Yeah, this is beautiful. 2020 was supposed to be a transformational year for the vlog, and that I was gonna take you guys with me internationally. All the trips that I had planned, all the excursions, everything like that, it was supposed to be absolutely epic. And although that is put on hold to who knows how long, I decided that I'm not gonna stop traveling. I'm not gonna stop having fun. I'm not gonna completely stop life for what it is that I wanna do and how I wanna live it. And so the first place that we went, I think was fitting considering my background and my past and the things that I've done. But it was absolutely fitting in that we went to Vegas and we partied during a pandemic. We pull up to the hotel because we still want our street food. So what's the name of the place? Raising Cane?
Raising Cane's, yeah.
Raising Cane's. Eat it in the perfume. Oh my God. Is this on my shirt?
That's deodorant.
Eat it right in the Lambo. We don't care nothing about this stuff. It's just stuff. It's just money. It's just cars. It don't mean nothing. You use it to have fun, but you don't covet it. Like, it shouldn't change who you are. It should never like modify your existence. That was one of my favorite videos. We had a ball out there, but you guys know me. You know I can't sit still. You know I can't just go to the familiar places. So I wound up taking a road trip with friends and reconnecting with people that I kind of had lost touch with. We went down to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and that was an interesting experience also.
I just feel like when I get in here, it's all coming out.
Boy, get in.
Well, you just gonna have to run out.
Listen to the water. Them bears down there like, hey,
Throwing it out.
I'm not throwing it out. I'm big.
I mean, you keep backing up.
I'm in here being big. Taking over.
I spent a lot of time in one of my favorite places to visit, Biloxi, Mississippi. I stopped wearing pants on Orlando, Florida. Happy birthday, Jasmine. And I even linked up with people that I met in a Facebook group and on Instagram as far as developing a new podcast, hanging out with my homies JR and B Nix. And I went to Chicago and had dinner with friends at Tao, which I've never been to. Tao is one of the most phenomenal restaurants that I've been at. But that was a unique, different, and completely transformational experience in itself. Everything that we've experienced in 2020 has led us here to Miami, Florida, where we're spending our winter, and where you guys took the journey with me 22 hours to get here, as far as bringing my car here, and then I flew in Rita and Les and all of that. But I think the thing that I've been contemplating and having a conversation with Rita for an extended period of time now is, you know, with me living my life like an open book, and with my whole philosophy being life is about experiences and not stuff, like, how much more do I really need? Like, how much more success, how much more of a phenomenal time and experience do I need to have in order for me to feel satisfied? Like, what's my number? And I haven't been able to answer that question, but I think that the overwhelming majority of my philosophy in 2021 is giving back and pouring into people. I really want to pour into people and figure out what that looks like as far as me ensuring that I really participate in other people's success, and how can I make sure that I die empty. You know, I don't want the foundation of my life, or the overwhelming majority of my life was based off of how much stuff I could accumulate or how many different experiences I can have. I love the experiences part, and stuff is cool, but again, it's like, what's the next level? What's the next thing that I want to do to ensure that I continue to fulfill my life's purpose and be the best version of myself I can be? And I don't know what that looks like, but I do know that 2020 in my recap was absolutely awesome. I experienced a lot of things off camera that I can't fully capture on camera, or I don't really feel the need to talk about. I made a lot of money. I had a lot of success from a business perspective. Life was good. I reconnected with friends. But I do feel like I deserve it. In 2017 and 18, when everybody was having a phenomenal time and looking at me like, dang, that's interesting, I struggled getting the restaurant open. I was going through a lot in the different aspects of my life, and my dad had died and all of these different things. But, you know, it's my time. You know, I embraced the journey, and I think that that's a good way to go through life. And I'm not sure what 2021 has in store, but I'm looking forward to it, no matter what the results are. I appreciate you. I love you. Happy New Year. And I will see you in 2021. Peace.